Ukraine's commander-in-chief has apologized publicly during a war. He is asking his country to stop fighting itself. But even as he wrote those words, Zelenskyy was reportedly reviewing a list of 11 candidates to replace him. The protests are growing. The front line is holding. The leadership crisis is not. Ukraine's top general has done something almost unheard of during wartime. Commander-in-Chief Oleksandr Syrskyi has publicly apologized to the country's former defense minister, urging Ukrainians to stop turning the war into a personal feud. But even as he called for unity, fresh reports suggest President Volodymyr Zelenskyy may already be preparing to replace him. With protests growing, political tensions rising, and the future of Ukraine's military leadership hanging in the balance, the battle inside Kyiv is becoming almost as intense as the one on the front line. In a personal column, Syrskyi said he was surprised to learn that their relationship had been portrayed as a conflict, insisting he had viewed it as a professional working relationship where disagreements were natural during a major war.
If I offended someone with something, Mykhailo Albertovich, I'm sorry, I can be tough. But I ask you, and everyone following this story with such enthusiasm, to focus not on the personal, but on the global one, on victory.
Reducing the war to rivalry between two individuals plays directly into Russia's hands, Syrskyi said.
Ukraine is bigger than Fedorov, Syrskyi, or any of us, and that the country holds together precisely because of its army, institutions, and millions of other people doing their jobs. Not because any of them is irreplaceable. This war will be won by real work, not by the public drama around it.
He cautioned against society dividing into rival camps supporting either himself or Fedorov, stressing that Ukraine's strength came from its army, institutions, and millions of citizens rather than any single individual. However, Syrskyi's appeal for unity came as reports emerged that his own position may be under threat. According to Bloomberg, President Volodymyr Zelenskyy is considering replacing Syrskyi with Joint Forces Commander Mykhailo Fedorov. The report, citing unnamed sources, said the commander-in-chief could be dismissed within days, although no final decision has been made. One source claimed Zelenskyy is reviewing a list of 11 potential candidates, with Fedorov viewed as the leading contender. Meanwhile, in a post on X, Zelenskyy said,
I will continue determining what adjustments should be made to Ukraine's defense strategy and which production and military supply priorities must be implemented as quickly as possible. There were also many issues related to air defense and, accordingly, tasks for Ukraine's Ministry of Foreign Affairs and our diplomacy as a whole.
The reports follow days of protests across Ukraine after former Defence Minister Mykhailo Fedorov was dismissed during a cabinet reshuffle. Demonstrators, including serving soldiers and military veterans, have demanded Fedorov's return and called for Syrskyi to be removed instead. Despite the speculation, Ukraine's general staff has officially denied reports that Syrskyi has been dismissed. Responding to criticism that he opposes drone warfare, Syrskyi strongly rejected the accusation, pointing out that he personally created the Unmanned Systems Forces as a separate military branch and recommended its current commander to President Zelenskyy.
I was the one who created the Unmanned Systems Forces as a separate branch of the military. I personally recommended Magyar to the president to lead the USF. It was an unpopular decision, and I took full responsibility for it.
He further argued that while drones now account for a significant share of Russian losses, modern warfare cannot rely on drones alone.
Drones account for a large share of enemy losses today. That is a fact. But to prepare the battlefield for drones to operate effectively, you need artillery, mortars, engineering equipment, air defense, electronic warfare, and dozens of other capabilities.
As Ukraine continues its fight against Russia, uncertainty over its military leadership continues to grow. Whether Syrskyi remains in command or a new commander is appointed, the decisions made in Kyiv over the coming days could shape both the country's battlefield strategy and confidence in its wartime leadership. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelenskyy is facing rare public criticism after dismissing Defence Minister Mykhailo Fedorov in an unexpected cabinet reshuffle. However, responding to the backlash, Zelenskyy told reporters that people can do what they want while defending the government changes as part of a broader effort to strengthen state institutions during the ongoing war with Russia.
As for the people who came out, we are fighting for freedom and democracy. So people, it seems to me, we're doing everything right. And people are doing what they want. They wanted to come out. Well, that's right.
Speaking as he hosted outgoing UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer in Kyiv, the Ukrainian president added that he would not reveal exactly what had gone on behind the scenes.
Some things that I would not like to delve into in such detail. Why? Well, because this is our open conversation. Not because there are secrets from our society. There are secrets from the Russians. Well, that's all.
Despite the Ukrainian president's defense of the reshuffle, former soldier Bohdan described the dismissal as demoralizing while joining thousands of protesters gathered outside the presidential office in Kyiv. Bohdan said he believed the move would lead to an increase in corruption.
People had hoped that reforms were coming, that things were finally changing for the better. They were already beginning to happen. Now it feels like everything is going back to the way it was. I think corruption will grow again. He was fighting corruption. If that stops, more money will disappear and fewer drones will reach the military.
Zelenskyy's decision to dismiss Fedorov from his role was met with outrage across Ukrainian society. But nowhere was it felt more keenly than among those in Ukraine's military. Former and serving members of the military at the protest pointed to improvements in drone procurement, digital communications, personnel reforms, anti-corruption efforts, and a shift away from what they described as Soviet-style command culture.
I've been serving since the beginning of the full-scale invasion. I saw what our army was like under former Commander-in-Chief Valery Zaluzhnyi. After he was replaced by Commander-in-Chief Oleksandr Syrskyi, we began feeling the difference within 2 or 3 months. The meat grinder tactics started coming back, along with the old Soviet mentality.
On the other hand, Russian military commentators and pro-war figures are celebrating the dismissal of Ukrainian Defence Minister Mykhailo Fedorov, portraying his removal as a strategic mistake that could weaken Kyiv's technological advantage on the battlefield. A Russian commentator argued that Fedorov's emphasis on unmanned systems threatened Moscow by reducing the importance of Russia's main conventional advantage, its larger pool of manpower. Another pro-war voice described the dismissal as a gift to Russia, acknowledging that Fedorov had rapidly introduced technologies that complicated Russian military operations.
If they remove Fedorov from the defense ministry, I consider that a plus for us.
The Russian speaker further stated that Ukraine's defense procurement system would return to the corruption and bureaucratic dysfunction that had previously weakened it. The reaction from Russian pro-war circles underscores the military significance they attach to Fedorov's technology-focused approach. Meanwhile, Zelenskyy has named Major General Yevgeny Kamara as Ukraine's acting defense minister, following Fedorov's high-profile dismissal and an unprecedented public confrontation within the country's wartime leadership.